everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So I would say this week's update is better than the weeks previous. So looking at the numbers, in Georgetown we had 11 sales. So that is much stronger than we have been seeing. To have 5 sales the last few weeks is really just, it's a slow time in our market if we're at 5 sales. So to see 11 is still on the lower end of our norm, but it is double digits and it is much better than what we've been seeing. Another really exciting thing is that we only had 7 new listings. So that is the lowest number we have seen. Oh my gosh, I don't even know the last time. I'm like looking through, the last time we saw like no double digits was January. So every week we've seen like double digit new listings since January. So this is exciting because we really need listings to slow down. So 2 really good things. Sales have picked up a bit and listings have slowed down. In Acton this week, we had 6 sales. That is a very big week for Acton. That's it's bigger than Georgetown has been the last few weeks. So that is good. And there was only 4 new listings. So again, we are outpacing with sales, so that is a promising sign. Glen Williams this week saw no sales and 1 new listing, and the rural market saw 1 sale and 2 new listings. So one of the other things we've been talking about with our sales is that a lot of them are happening over $1 million. Like our lower price points have been at a standstill. So the good news this week is of the 18 sales in Halton Hills, 14 of them were under $1 million. So we saw an uptick in our lower price point selling, which is so refreshing compared to what we've been seeing the last few weeks. So hopefully all of these trends are promising to get our, to get our momentum back into the market. So looking at our properties that terminated, expired, relisted, we had 15 properties that came back on the market at a lower price and 3 properties that exited the market. So we're not seeing a ton of properties exiting the market, and that is okay if our new inventory numbers remain a little bit softer. So looking at overall inventory, all of Halton Hills is down slightly to 280 active listings. It's so exciting to me that we have not hit that 300 mark again. It really felt like end of September, October, we were seeing so many new listings that we were going to really be climbing, but to kind of maintain where we've been for the last few weeks is so nice. So 280 active listings in Halton Hills. In Georgetown this week, we are down, yay, from 170 to 163 active listings. So that is what happens when we have higher sales than new listings, as well as a few properties come off the market. So looking at our price points, under 800,000 is down from 31 to 28, which is supported by the fact that most of the properties that sold this week were under $1 million. And then same with 800 to $1 million is down from 51 to 50. Another drop was in our 1 to 1.5 range, which dropped from 69 to 63. And we saw some properties change their price to under $1 million as well. The terminations fell in that pocket. So it's still extremely high. There are still so many properties available in that pocket, but it is coming down, and those are the trends we need to see. 1.5 million plus is up from 19 to 22 active listings, but I would say in comparison to where the other pockets are, this pocket is still sitting relatively low. The stuff doesn't really move that rapidly, but it's still sitting low in comparison to where we've seen it before, and just in comparison to our saturated market. This 1.5 million plus at 22 is not a crazy number. Acton this week is down slightly from 38 to 36 active listings, but still very high in Acton. Lots of stuff available. Glen Williams is up slightly from 11 to 12 active listings, and the rural market is down slightly from 70 to 69 active listings. So I would say this week is a much better update than what I've been reporting the last few weeks. We know that depending, like I do my updates on Tuesday, so depending on how sold conditionals report, like things can shift, but we had a very, very bad start to October in terms of sales numbers. So hopefully between this week or last week and this coming week, we can finish the month strong. Next week I will have October's numbers, but they are going to be, I would say, bleak. I'd not so much maybe our price points, but our units sold is significantly down compared to what would be the norm in our fall market. But overall, this feels more positive. I am really happy to see new listings slowing down. Normally that doesn't necessarily happen until November, but given the state of the market, I think unless you need to be on the market, you're not really coming onto the market. So I'm happy with what happened this week. Feels much more in favor of our market being balanced. So let's see what happens. I will be back next week with all of October's numbers. Have a great week, everyone.